this week's freight news, SA economy rebounding from 2020 recession, airport processes could take 8 hours without digitisation, and last week's top stories. As always, links to the articles can be found below. Thank you.
In your Airfreight trade brief for this week, on the export side, Swissport Trucking for week 24 will have no trucks on Tuesday and Wednesday, so that is the 15th and 16th of June respectively. TARG will resume their services to GRU effective 3 June. Cargolux has sent a reminder of e-manifest customs requirements for imports into Canada. As per the CBSA regulations, forwarders must report the electronic house bill data to the e-manifest system for their Canada import house airway bills by the 4th of July deadline. Failure to comply will delay consignee shipments, customs clearance and incur fees at the Canada ports of entry. Qatar has issued new requirements for shipments to Jordan. Customers are requested to send FWB and FHL information to Qatar Airways Cargo latest before the RCS to facilitate the information transfer to Jordan Customs. The messages must contain full information as detailed below. On your import side, airfreight capacity ex-Mauritius is extremely constrained, which is a result of the limited carrier options available at the moment. Air Mauritius will be operational on certain days of the month, and Emirates will operate one flight per week ex-Mauritius to Joburg, but this too is extremely constrained at the moment. With regards to South China, based on the information received from our partner Shipco China, rates appear to have increased for the week, being from 31 May to 6 June. With our options of moving freight ex-South China via Hong Kong, we have the solution for you. So reach out to your local CFR freight office in order to find out more info. In your market news side, in an article from IATA, supply chain disruptions have been among the key stories during the pandemic. Congestion and lack of capacity have led to large increases in shipping prices. Air cargo allows fast shipping but has been roughly 12 times more expensive than the ocean trade in the 2 to 3 years prior to the crisis. While air cargo fares remain elevated, container fares have increased strongly and were more than 3 times higher than pre-COVID levels in April 2021. In Q1 2021, air cargo has grown 5.6% compared to Q1 2019, while container throughput increased by 6.1%. In contrast, in Q2 of 2020, when air cargo fares were close to 20 times of those of containers, air cargo was relatively weaker. Air cargo also tends to outperform other means of transport at the start of the economic upturn, due to the restocking cycles when businesses turn to air to rapidly refill inventories as demand rises. But with strong customer demand and the lack of container capacity expected to continue until late 2021 at the earliest, air cargo is likely to remain a viable alternative to container shipping for some businesses. The upshot is that air cargo is likely to continue to perform well compared to other modes for most of 2021. Select global national holidays for the upcoming week can be found below.
Hello and welcome to your Ocean Trade Brief. In general, we continue to see an increase in cargo volumes, high levels of port congestion and carrier capacity constraints. Increasing positive COVID-19 cases in the East are having an impact on various terminals, with the result of ports imposing stringent health protocols on terminal employees and vessels. On the South African trades, we are seeing extended transit times on all services, especially on services with container transshipments in various hubs. Those hubs being Singapore, TPP, Las Palmas, Algeciras, Sines and Colombo, with both inbound and outbound services being affected. In Port Elizabeth, the taxi strikes that occurred last week resulted in limited manpower in the 2 terminals, heavily impacting port operations. In the Middle East, Maersk has announced a temporary restriction of all services into Israel due to congestion in both Ashdod and Haifa. These restrictions are anticipated to last 3 weeks. In the Indian subcontinent, Tropical Cyclone Yas affected West Bengal and Orissa, as well as Bangladesh on Wednesday the 26th of May. Port delays as well as transport delays are impacting services in India as a result of the weather and COVID-19 conditions. Carriers have advised that due to COVID-19 pandemic in India, vessel scheduling is erratic and vessels may bypass Indian ports. MSC has advised on the 24th of May that container bookings ex-India are on hold due to weather conditions, as well as COVID-19. Next scheduled available vessel is only from the 15th of June, and this is subject to change. In the Asian Pacific, all regions are experiencing very limited capacity on vessels, with freight rates changing from booking to booking. Many regions are seeing no available space on vessels for the rest of May, with availability indicated into the middle of June. Carriers are not opening bookings for June, as rates are being issued vessel by vessel. Unscheduled container transshipments are also evident at this time, as carriers are discharging containers in Singapore to reload heavily delayed containers from other vessels. An example of this is the containers of the Ital Libera, which was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This has been CFR Freight News. We'll see you next week.